All right. Hello, and welcome to the Shark Stream. It's me. Did you know? It's me. It's your boy Gage, aka Acid Shark, here on another Four Horsemen Friday. A trend which may or may not continue next week. I might be moving some things around, switching up my streaming days. Sorry, I just ran up and down the stairs a little bit. Oh no, did I spill my chips? No, my chips are fine. Oh boy, howdy. Is it ever Friday? Crunch. Oh. Alright. Darksiders 3. We're playing more of it. Are you excited? You better be. Lest you be bored, which would be tragic, honestly, because I am quite charming and funny and very entertaining. So if you're bored, that's kind of on you a little bit. What's been going on? Gaming news. Darth Vader said fuck. Darth Vader said fuck and also a homophobic slur. Though apparently that was in reference to cigarettes. So, impossible to say whether it was bad or not. No, okay, so people should really stop playing Fortnite. Like, okay. I don't mean to catastrophize, but Fortnite may represent the death of gaming in general. I'm just saying. No, it's just, okay, so Fortnite's having a big Star Wars thing. There's a bunch of, new skins you can get. There's a Darth Jar Jar skin, and they put out a Darth Vader skin that has, I don't know if it's a skin or an NPC, but it's Darth Vader, and he has, AI-generated voice lines using, clips recorded by James Earl Jones, because James Earl Jones is dead? And it's why? I know it's money. It's ghoulish. And, okay. To be fair, to cover all sides of this, James Earl Jones' estate did come out and say that old Jimmy boy, gave his permission for this sort of thing to be done so that Star Wars fans, new and old, would be able to continue to enjoy his performance. If it's so important for you to enjoy James Earl Jones' performance as Darth Vader in the Star Wars movies, then just go watch the fucking Star Wars movies. I'm sorry, what are we doing? This is just, it's upsetting. It's upsetting because it's ghoulish, and I feel like they don't even realize that it's ghoulish. You have a dead man talking to you using phrases he's never said. Spliced together from, waveforms. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't think it should exist. Just kind of generally speaking. I don't want to get into this too much, because I'm just going to spiral into just bad vibes, and I don't want that. But yeah, you should stop playing Fortnite. Sorry. Honestly, you should have stopped playing Fortnite a while ago. But that's just me. That's just me. What else has been going on? I'm trying to think. This one's a little bit funnier. Okay, so it's still what the fuck is the industry doing, but it's a little bit funnier. So Bungie recently got caught having stolen art assets from, I think someone who used to work there. I don't remember the specifics of like the conditions under which the assets are made, but basically someone made art assets. Bungie used them without permission. There was a whole bunch of just like comparisons between like the art assets they created, what was used in the Marathon beta, and perhaps the most damning piece of evidence, the smoking gun in this case, if you will, is that there was a tweet, I think, posted by said artist saying, I hid lost.jpg in one of my art pieces 6 years ago, and so far no one has found it. And then somebody replied to that. That was a post from 2024. Somebody replied to it with, hey, I'm here from the future. This is funny as hell, with a screenshot of the Marathon beta with the lost.jpg that the artist had hidden in their asset 7 years prior. And it's just like, oh my god. There was apparently an apology posted, and it is, I guess, something that they're going to work on rectifying. I don't know how necessarily, because based on like what okay, I haven't fucking played Marathon. I haven't touched the Marathon beta. I'm not interested in extraction shooters. I unfortunately haven't really been interested in a whole lot of things that Bungie has been doing since like they stopped making Halo, if I'm being entirely honest. Like, Destiny was cool, I guess, but it's like, I never, like, that being like a just hardline multiplayer live service game, I just have no interest in it, or I had no interest in it. I still don't have any interest in it. I feel like this has improved the vibe slightly. I think the lost.jpg bit is very funny. But yeah. Friend of the stream Ganon told me that she started playing Darksiders 3 recently and is a huge fan of Fury, which is great for me specifically. It makes me feel vindicated because I've been saying Fury is the best one, you know? I feel like there was something else big that happened today. A lot of people talking about Andor. I guess that ended recently, and it was really good. Probably one of the best pieces of Star Wars media. Apparently, Sam Witwer is involved in a new Darth Maul series, which, okay, cool. Maybe we'll finally, like, it'd be nice to get like some follow-up to like the way that the hook at the end of Solo, a Star Wars story. Am I like the one person on Earth who kind of liked Solo, a Star Wars story? Like, it definitely has like that origin story issue where it's just like, we need to explain how everything related to this character happened. Here's where he gets his gun. Here's where he meets Chewie. Here's how he gets the Millennium Falcon. Here's how he got his last name? Alright, sure, I suppose. But like, one of the most interesting things about that movie is the hook at the end, where it's just like, oh yeah, the top of the food chain in this particular like galaxy-spanning gang is in fact a Darksaber wielding Darth Maul. Okay, I'm on board. I fucking love Darth Maul. I think Darth Maul is cool as hell. And admittedly, part of that is all of the instances where he's voiced by Sam Witwer, who I think Sam Witwer's neat. He's one of those actors where it's just like, I feel like I don't see him a lot, but when I do see him, I'm just like, oh, that's my buddy Sam Witwer. I know him from video games. I know him from video games and Stephen King's The Mist, starring Thomas Jane. I need to like start playing video games. I don't have the game in my disk drive yet. 1 second. There we go. Wait, what the fuck? Please, what? Okay. I get... Oh, maybe I had, like, quick resume on? Yeah. Oh, you know what, actually? Hold on. I'm gonna... Potato chip. Oh. They got in my way, so I ate one of them. As a show of force. I want to do real quick, just look up. No. Nope, that's not the right. Inferno? They have a store page up for this yet? Tragically, no. What the fuck is neon chrome? Experience a ruthless top-down cyberpunk shooter and blast your way through enemies and walls. Or upgrade, enhance, and build up your strength. The path to stopping the Overseer is ever-changing. Oh, I'm not a fan of this. There is exactly one, like, top-down twin-stick controlled game that I genuinely enjoy, and we're going to be playing it as part of the stream series. Here we go. Start me game. Press RB to dodge. Time your dodge to avoid damage. Oh. Alright, so. We're in the Atrium of Greed. We're not going to go in there yet, though. Because we got to talk to Vulgrim.
Good evening.
Vulgrim, buddy, show me your holes.
Please take your time.
So we're going to pop into the void real quick. Because last time, when we got the Flame Hollow, Vulgrim mentioned that he needs some help with something. And who would I be if I would not help out my good pal, my bestest buddy, old Volgy boy? Do you have any words for me?
Good eating.
You have nothing.
Do make sure they scream, horseman.
Yeah, alright. I can do that. Devoid.
I have never been witness to structures of stone floating so freely.
Down, down, down. Down, down, down. I need to get back on checking out or rewatching all the X-Men movies. The last one that I watched it on the car ride to PAX. Was X-Men First Class. Good movie. Probably my favorite design for Beast in any of those films. Beast designs fall the fuck off when you get to God, what's the next one in the fucking series? Days of Future Past. Unfortunately. Ow, bitch. And I mean, like, part of that is that, like, you know, like, I get it. The prosthetics process sounds like it's a fucking awful chore, you know? Like, you hear about, like, the shit that, like, Rebecca Romaine had to go through, or, like, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Like, it was the entire reason he didn't come back to do that character again after X2, X-Men United, was just, like, he did not want to have to deal with the prosthetics process, so they wrote him out using the video game. Strike the Void Orb, or Vorb, with a charged hollow attack. I didn't read the rest of that. It's probably fine. Oh, while the orb is active to imbue it with that hollow power. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Death wand of such creatures, with the power to manipulate stone to their very will and take on a physical form.
Ow. 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 Okay, I am immediately not doing well. Shit. Well, that sucked. I'm not doing very well with my, like, dodge timing, I'm noticing. Which is unfortunate. Alright, let's give it another shot. Everything has respawned, and I have lost all my shit. I don't think I had very much shit to begin with, though, so... That motherfucker came flying out of nowhere. What the hell? Okay. All the, like, discarded items should be fine. What was I talking about? So... Like, movies are, like, constantly coming up with, like, budget and time-saving measures. You know, obviously, to save budget and time. And one of the things that they do... So, okay. Kelsey Grammer plays Beast in X-Men The Last Stand. There is a cameo by Hank McCoy in X2 X-Men United where he looks like a normal dude. Which, like, okay, fine, why not? But then when he shows up again in X-Men The Last Stand, he is full beastie. He's blue as hell. And I mean, that's cool. Oh, wow, I actually did have quite a lot, in fact. There we go. So it's just like, okay, and he stays blue that whole movie. He's blue the entire film. He is blue, dabba dee, dabba die. So, okay, right? X-Men The Last Stand. I mean, like, we gotta have Beast in it. Now, Beast hasn't always been blue. Beast used to just be kind of like a big, strong, smart guy with weird feet. The blue thing came later, so obviously, okay, we need to show normal human Beast, and then Beast become blue in X-Men Last Stand, because it origin movie. It origin movie, we need to do origin. So we get the whole thing was just like, oh, I don't like the fact that I have hand feet. Which, by the way, if you're keeping track of, like, what am I trying to say? If you're keeping track of, motherfucking the use of the X-Men films as, like, metaphor for hold on. So the use of metaphor in the X-Men movies, like, it's the first two X-Men movies were explicitly written to be, like, metaphor for, like, the gay community and the sort of, like, not even, like, oppression, microaggressions and shit like that they face. You know, stuff like, have you tried not being a mutant? Things like that. And if you're keeping track at home about, like, how well a lot of these movies are handling the metaphorical aspect, First Class does actually go pretty hard on it. Like, there's a specific point where there's a fucking line where, oh god, what is it? This is actually something that, of all fucking movies, gets kind of, like, explored again in, like, Dark Phoenix, where you've got... It's Professor X's assimilationist ideals versus Magneto's radical self-acceptance, right? Where it's just like Professor X kind of prioritize, and this is explicitly shown through the way that they treat Mystique, Raven, Darkholme, where Professor X and then also by extension Beast, because of the way he acts towards her, are put off by Mystique's sort of, like, natural form, right? Like, she's just like, yo, Charles, would you date me? And Charles is just like, yeah, you're a fucking catch. And she's just like, but would you date me if I was blue? And he's just like, I mean, you're like a sister to me. Anyway, and then he just moves on. And then, like, there's the whole thing where Beast is just like, yo, your cells could be the key to unlocking the capability of us to retain our mutant powers, but get rid of our weird physical shit. And just, like, constantly talking about these things as if they're, like, a negative, you know? And then you've got Magneto, who's just like, you should never be afraid of what you truly are. The real Raven Darkholme is blue. That's who she is. That's the real Mystique. Oh, and goodbye. And then, of course, there's the scene, like, really early on where... And there's a similar thing where it's just like, oh, Professor X not realizing that Beast is, let's say what it is, closeted at work, accidentally outs him to his employer, and they explicitly reference the don't ask, don't tell policy. So it goes much harder in First Class than I would say it did in, like, say, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which did still do some interesting things. Logan's narrative in that is all about, like, trying to find who he believes he is, in the face of people on all sides telling him what he should be. You know, Stryker, Sabretooth, all that jazz. Basically the Shadow the Hedgehog of the X-Men film series. But then, like, you've got Last Stand, which has, like, some aspects of that, but I've always felt that Last Stand functions a lot better in terms of, like, neurodivergency. Like, could you potentially read the storyline of The Cure as, like, some sort of, like, conversion therapy thing? On some level, probably. But at the same time, like, The Cure in X-Men The Last Stand doesn't require any sort of the, like, horrible baggage and, like, outright literal torture of something like conversion therapy. It's a lot more akin, I mean, it's not akin, it's explicitly eugenics. Where it's just like, hey, we've got this thing that we're going to inject you with, and it's going to rewrite your DNA so that you can be normal. And that is, I mean, it's explicitly eugenics, but at the same time, there is a sort of acknowledgement within the movie that, like, this question of wanting to be quote-unquote normal is a nuanced topic, where it's just like, there's folks like Storm, who it's just like, Storm is an incredibly powerful mutant. Her ability is, you know, with the amount of control she has over it, it is invisible, and it is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's invisible, and it is, non-intrusive. Thank you, hon. I love you. Invisible and non-intrusive. Beast points out, just like she's just like, who would take this cure? It's only a coward would do it. And Beast points out, like, is it cowardice to save oneself from persecution? You don't shed on the furniture. Beast is very visibly a mutant in that movie. I need to check real quick. I don't think, am I? Yeah, I'm on hardware encoding. Okay, good. Beast is very, very visibly a mutant in that movie, and I mean, given, like, it, the way that they handle Beast in First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix, almost makes that line kind of darkly comical, where it's just like, actually, no, Beast figured it out. He did his own eugenics. God, okay. But then, like, the movie then, of course, directly contrasts this with Rogue. And Rogue in the movies, if you've ever, like, experienced any X-Men stuff, especially, like, maybe, like, the comics or the 90s cartoon, you know that Rogue is kind of a badass. She has, like, a full, incredible power set, which canonically she took from Carol Danvers, I believe. Like, she physically held on to Carol Danvers maybe a little bit longer than she should have. May have put her in a little bitty coma, but gained super strength and the ability to fly. I don't think they go over the origin of this in the 90s cartoon, that she just has these abilities.
Humble merchant.
But her primary ability is that she can absorb the life essence or the life force of anything she touches, or any like human, animal, mutant she touches. This is characterized as absorbing, in certain cases, parts of their personality, their knowledge, their memories, their expertise, and explicitly with mutants, their powers. In the movies, Rogue doesn't have any of the cool shit. She just has the touches you and you die ability. I say touches you and you die. The whole like absorbing life force does have a negative effect on the people she touches. Hence, touches you and you die
Take your
ability.
time.
So Rogue comes rushing in and is just like, whoa, is it true? They can cure us? And she's super excited about this because, again, one of the first things that we learn about Rogue or not one of the first things. Well, yeah, one of the first things that we learn about Rogue in the first X-Men movie is that she kissed a boy and nearly fucking killed him. So you can kind of maybe understand. I'm going to go ahead and take the Undying Shard because apparently I'm just not on my fucking game today.
Do make sure they scream, horseman.
Oh, I already had like 6 of them. Goddamn. All right. So, like, yeah, you can maybe understand why Rogue would want this thing. And this is one of those things that, like, the people who discuss The Last Stand will often point out the dichotomy of Storm, a woman who can make pretty clouds, telling the girl who can't touch someone without killing them that there's nothing wrong with her. And, I mean, like, again, this is where, like, the nuance that X-Men The Last Stand is not very good at navigating comes into play. Ultimately, Rogue does take the cure, but we see via Magneto that the cure is not a permanent solution, and that his abilities are coming back, and that eventually all mutants who were cured abilities are going to come back. And thus we get Rogue in the Rogue cut of X-Men Days of Future Past. It's a whole thing. But this is where it kind of comes into play, my sort of reading of this movie being about, like, neurodivergency, right? Where it's just like, you've got people who have, like, you know, certain kinds of mental illness. Or, hi, Reggie, can I help you? What are you doing? You want to get up on my desk? Are you here to co-commentate? Reggie, do you want to play Darksiders 3? Reggie has climbed fully onto my desk. I think he really likes this new desk mat that I got. I wonder if he would like the other one that I haven't set up. I need my chips, though, big guy. Okay? If you want to sit on my desk, you can. You're rubbing up on my microphone. Hello. What was I talking about? So, you've got people who... And it's you know, Okay, let me back up a little bit. I say neurodivergency because when I saw X-Men The Last Stand, and when I really started analyzing the X-Men The Last Stand, there was a lot of discussion about autism in the world. So, you know, you've got there is a group of people who have a huge spectrum of, like, something that makes them other, right? From, like, what society constitutes as normal, quote unquote. Reggie is bumping into my microphone again. And on one end of this, you have people who have, like, invisible and, as Natalie said, unintrusive abilities. And on the other hand, you've got people who are very visibly, quote-unquote, other, or have these abilities that greatly, and in some cases negatively, affect their, like, everyday life. So there is like a distinct point where, Reggie, you're just knocking shit off my desk now. There is a distinct divide here where there are some of those people who, for one reason or another, may actually want to... I'm gonna fucking die if I'm not careful here. May want to partake in this thing that would, like, actually... Oh god, I'm gonna fucking... Hold on. In this thing that would, like, actually help them in their, like, live the life that they want, basically, you know? And like I said, at the time that the movie came out, like, the big thing was talking about, like, oh, we're looking, it's the shit like Autism Speaks, who are just like, oh, we're on the search for a cure for autism. And it's just like, okay, fucked up, first and foremost. But it's just like, is there the possibility that, like, you know, there might be people with, like, a more debilitating form of this condition, who would be willing to partake in this? And then you, like, you know, you get into questions of, like, informed consent and whether it is that particular person's responsibility as to whether or not they should be the one to change, or if they should be accommodated, so on and so forth. And realistically speaking, like, this is less of a specific thing with regards to, like, autism, neurodivergency, and more about, like, disability in general. Where it's like, I mean, I have ADHD. I've spoken at length about how I have ADHD, but, like, and it's unmedicated ADHD. But in a lot of ways, like, I can still kind of more or less function day to day just through, like, what degree of self-discipline I do have, which does exist, I promise. It's not all, I'm going to go off on a tangent for 5 hours about goddamn Doolittle. Sometimes I do find myself, like, actually being like, wait, I need to focus here. The fuck? Oh. Oh, we're moving now. But it's just like, you know, I might not be entirely interested in partaking in something like this. And I may potentially be offended by the notion that I should have to, you know? Oh, there was something I just had in my... Cubes! Hello, Kale. Welcome. Oh, I was thinking about something else, and now I've completely forgotten it. There it is! Rearing its ugly head once again. Okay, I remember what I was going to say. Now, I talked about this, I believe I talked about this on Blue Sky. But, you know, X-Men in general, not the most, not always a perfect metaphor, necessarily. Generally speaking, minorities cannot shoot lasers out of their eyes.
That's what you think.
Thank you, hon. Thank you, hon. Oh, boy. But, you know, that being said, it's like, The what's the word I'm looking for? The metaphors that we have, the ones that we work with, don't need to be perfect necessarily. Like, the message can still come through if the metaphor isn't perfect. We had, like, 5 years of Steven Universe discourse to get to that conclusion, you know? So, like, X-Men movies. First Class, definitely, of the post-original duology, is definitely one of the ones that, like, skews a little bit closer to the kind of original metaphors of the first couple films. Well, do you assume the fandom / internet at large reached a conclusion? I mean, I like to think so. I'm gonna eat potato chip. What does that do? Oh! Sexy little shortcut. Okay, we got our first bouse, I believe, is what this is. Is this a bourse?
Your transgressions are costly. I have slain many of your brethren. If you wish to avoid the same fate, I suggest you talk. Why do you infest the serpent holes?
Stop infesting holes, goddammit.
I want answers now!
Talkative one, ain't he?
Your silence is disrespectful. Time to teach you some manners.
So I don't think he attacks until we attack. Something very funny about arguing at a literal rock. Yeah, for sure. What was I talking about? X-Men. X-Men. The metaphors aren't always perfect. But they are there. And they are, I would say, undeniable, honestly. Like, you get gay panic stuff a bunch in, like, the first two movies, which they were directed by a gay man, so... And we're not gonna get into the nitty-gritty of Bryan Singer, because that is a whole rabbit hole that doesn't really do anything but just kind of, like... What Bryan Singer has done and what he's been accused of doesn't necessarily invalidate his experiences, and does not invalidate the sort of messages that he put into his films, I guess is what I'm kind of getting at. And conflict in X-Men, the X-Men First Class.
I have an issue.
Yeah, what's up?
What he did doesn't invalidate the messaging of someone who saw themselves in those films.
Exactly.
Might have gone out of it.
So, in case Natalie's on the other side of the room, so I don't know how well she gets picked up by the mic, even though, like, we're at kind of a quiet point since I'm on a pause screen. But basically what she said was that what he's done and what he's been accused of doesn't invalidate the messages that someone saw in those films, what they took away from it themselves, that sort of thing. Right? Did I get that?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. And I mean, because me, as I've sort of, like, come out of my shell more and sort of accepted myself as being queer, I definitely, like, look back on those movies kind of, like, with a different lens. knowing and like seeing those metaphors, seeing those stories within the context of the films, even if I don't have regenerative healing and 9-inch bone claws that come out of my knuckles, which God, I wish I did. But this has so the storyline of like Professor X and Magneto in like a lot of the other movies is definitely like Professor X kind of, they sort of understand each other around like the time of like the original trilogy. Like one of my favorite fucking lines is in X-Men The Last Stand, where Pyro is shit talking the recently dead Professor X, and Magneto is just like, yo, you shut the fuck up about Charles. You don't get to shit talk Charles. Okay? You don't get to do that. He did more for mutants than you'll ever fucking know. I love that. It's I fucking love the like toxic doomed yaoi between these two old men. But when we get to like the more like the prequel movies, especially in in First Class and unfortunately Dark Phoenix, which actually it's one of the things that movie does really good with the metaphor, is like I said, it's the conflict between mutants, humanity, X-Men, the Brotherhood, X-Men, various aliens or whatever. I hate the fucking Dabari so goddamn much. I'm not going to get into it. But there's also an ideological conflict, like I said, between Professor X's dreams of assimilationism and Magneto's radical self-acceptance, which comes out as him doing mutant terrorism. Look, sometimes you need to rip up a baseball stadium and fly it across Washington, D.C. because you're really mad about the robots that they're making, okay? It's all about making a statement. And if there's one guy who knows how to make a statement, it's Magneto. Aganosh. Ow. Ow. Bitch.
Taste the sting of my whip.
Oh, he's about to do something. Oh, he did his Big Bang attack. He's gonna morph. This isn't even a vampire game. It doesn't have the context here. Ah, boop. Okay, how do I... Ow. No. Ow. Okay. Hold on, I forgot... I forgot how to activate my hollows. Shit. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold up. Okay, that's what happened. I held down LB and it canceled out my hollows. Okay. Ah, fuck. Oh. Oh. Yeah, okay. Wicked Adamantine. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't doing that. It's weird. Yeah, I highly recommend watching through the X-Men series while kind of like keeping an eye out for just sort of like the general metaphors, because like they do make a joke in like Deadpool 2 about like, oh, the X-Men are here, an outdated metaphor for racism from the 60s. And it's just like, they were at the time. But it metaphors can like grow and change as years go on. So it is genuinely kind of interesting to see how it's adapted for like new stories, new what's the word I'm looking for? A new world, I guess. And how it like more things change, more things stay the same, that sort of shit, you know? Okay, hold on. Wheremst am I? Guess let's go talk to Vulgrim.
What would you ask of this humble merchant?
Yeah, I guess I'm just done.
Please
Sure.
take your
Atrium
time.
of Greed, let's head on back. I'm trying to remember, like... I have a whole thread on Blue Sky for this that I started. Just to kind of keep track of, like, my thoughts on it. Oh, right, that's right. There is admittedly a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Temptation, I guess?
What would you ask of this? Farewell for now.
She's just like, here, let me sit here and just read you off, like, a greatest hits of my Blue Sky thread about X-Men. But it's just like, I thought about that for more than a second, and I'm just like, that sounds like a bad idea, actually.
But they did know art.
What?
Frankly, I think it's one of the reasons that the angels were so jealous of them. Have you ever seen one of those birds paint?
You're talking about art. Now. Here.
We are in a museum.
It's a museum.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, certainly, we have our mission. I'm just saying.
Some people have no appreciation for the finer things in life.
Avarice.
Fury. Welcome to my Hall of Treasure. Unfortunately, you forgot to pay the entrance fee. Your life.
Take it if you dare, wretch!
Bro, how am I supposed... Ah!
You have hardly been worth the hunt.
How am I supposed to enjoy your Hall of Treasures if the entrance fee is my life? Ow, bitch. I'm having a little bit of trouble, like, really kind of keeping an eye out for his attacks, and I think part of that is the fact that, like, his grippies are so low to the ground. Hello, Venom Lad. Dang, did Twitch block my very factual statement of how much a baddie the Watcher is?
Finally, you show some fight.
The Watcher can kind of get it in this game, admittedly. Raggy, can I help you? He has walked in front of the TV. You like stepping on things, boyo? Whoa! I wonder if I have...
The taste of your blood.
Ow. I think him pulling out the grandfather clock to beat me to death with is actually making dodging a little bit easier. Just because it's a much larger, like, smash and basher to keep... Oh my god, that's a fucking fridge. I do genuinely love the way that this game, like, utilizes the 7 deadly sins very namesake in their, like, combat. Where it's just like, this is avarice, greed. He has a horde of just shit. Not like literal shit, but like a horde of like all sorts of things just like stacked up in piles around the room. And he pulls things from those piles to beat you to death with. Like, that's really good. We'll see a lot more like that as we go on. Stuff with like sloth or lust or, oh god. There's... Sloth and Lust, I remember, their stuff comes into play. God, what are the other ones? Envy we already killed. Wrath we fought. His, it kind of comes up in his as well. Gluttony. Gluttony, it comes up. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Why am I having so much trouble remembering the 7 fucking deadly sins? There was a whole anime about them. Anyway.
Enjoy your collection, Avarice. For one final time!
Yuri is so much, and I love her.
Do you know what that art was worth?
One sinner's life. Who needs a museum when you can carry a collection in this?
Oh, Philistine.
Whoa, shit. Welp. Watcher can get something all right. If I need to, like, stop abruptly for a moment, it's because we're waiting on the sushi order for friend of the stream and housemate Austin. Because we're ordering sushi tonight. I'm not ordering sushi. I'm getting a shitload of gyoza. And some little red bean paste filled sesame balls. And she into bondage. We're so in. Ugh. Bro, what?
Welcome again, Fury.
It's not like I had a choice in the matter. Do you kidnap all your guests?
It would not be so disrespectful if you knew the true power I give you. Your battle with Avarice proved you value your mission above material possessions. You are ready for stronger tools of destruction.
Another toy for me to play with. You're far too generous.
The Storm Hollow. Use it wisely.
I do like the
Why
Storm
not
Hollow
give
a
me
lot.
all your gifts and get it over with, if you're so keen to arm one of the horsemen?
Be gone.
This fucking, like, shit-headed little laugh, just like, haha, I pushed you through a fucking portal, idiot. So, for the Storm Hollow, the primary weapon that we get for the Storm Hollow is the Lance of Scorn. But the secondary one that we got, because we've already done, like, I think it's Keepers of the Void is the DLC, is the Polearm of Scorn. And then I think, how do we switch that? Here we go. So then we've also got this one. So it's like... I like this one a little bit better, I think. But let me take a look here. So, what do we have on this? We've got Balanced Leviathan on the lance, which... 20 lurchers when breaking objects with this weapon. So if we use the weapon to break objects, we get more soul lurchers. And then the passive is 96 health regenerated per minute. Polearm, we get a 20% boost to physical and arcane damage and a 20% boost to health. This is pretty nice. I think that's pretty good. Anyways, Avarice has all sorts of shit scattered all around his fucking horde over here. I don't know why he decided to, like, build up these piles in fun little pillars. Maybe he was thinking ahead. Maybe he's just like, oh, what if I get attacked by a horseman? I better have some little piles I can hop around and pull grandfather clocks and refrigerators out of. This seems like a good idea. I'm very smart. Wrathshard. Alright. Talisman saying we usually locate the other sins. The ability to place location used sin. I said words. You can't prove I didn't. I, too, pilot my collection of conveniently weaponizable piles.
By the way, I hope you don't take offense, Fury.
I will.
Yet I'm certain I will.
Yes, well, don't slaughter the messenger and puree his guts, as the saying goes.
I don't think that's how the saying goes.
Whispers of your martial prowess have spread throughout certain circles, horseman. There are those who would like to put your talents to the test, if you wish to humor them.
I do not.
But if you did, out of curiosity or pride or plain old greed like a normal person, say the word, and the serpent hole shall convey you unto the Crucible.
The Crucible? Ugh, bit on the nose, isn't it?
Says the furious horseman named
Enough, Vulgrim. What's in this for you?
10%. The demon's got to make a living. And for you, rewards that should pique a warrior's interest, assuming you survive. Consider it, or don't.
Vulgrim getting a cut by advertising the Crucible. Like he's a goddamn YouTuber handing out fucking sponsorships.
Fury, have you heard about BetterHelp? Fury,
Have you ever wanted to own land in Scotland? I don't forget what that one was. That was a weird one. Okay, I think Fury is my favorite out of the Horsemen as far as the writing goes. This Deadly Sin is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Oh, boy. I tell you what, Fury. After a long day of hawking my wares, I enjoy kicking back to and eating a pizza. But my God, prices these days. Today's visit to Vulgrim's Serpent Holes is brought to you by honey. I would say something like Vulgrim wouldn't shill honey, but Vulgrim probably would found honey. Vulgrim would be the one who created honey. Fury, pray tell, have you ever heard of the... God damn it. Hold on. Vulgrim, you've got honey in your serpent holes? Exactly. Hold on. I got this one. I got this. Fury, have you ever heard tell of the legendary battlefield World of Tanks? Okay, I got it.
The Storm Hollow. You never disappoint, Horseman.
I can't say the same for you, demon.
Your opinion of me will change in due time. The next passageway awaits your gentle touch.
You are now granted passage into Stormwing of the Void. I have chips in my mouth, I'm sorry.
What would you ask of this humble nerd?
I thought there was going to be more dialogue there. I thought I had time to fucking choke back a stack of chips. Yuri, you should really make sure you protect your internet history with Private Internet Access VPN. Vulgrim, what the fuck is an internet? And then Vulgrim shows Fury the internet and she's like, fascinating. Tell me of this gotcha. Horseman, are you not concerned about the forces of hell tracing your location? Thanks to today's sponsor, NordVPN. Oh, boy. What's another goddamn, like...
Greetings.
Yuri, no, don't Google yourself. You mean mortals will intentionally seek out opportunities to become furious at each other?
Farewell for now.
Yeet. Ah, fuck. Oh, God damn it. This bit sucks. I hate it. I don't listen to enough podcasts to, do this bit, unfortunately.
Fury, with the Earth ravaged by the End War, it's more important than ever to support your local independent creators. That's why today's sponsor is Nebula.
I like the idea of Vulgrim doing all this shit and Fury's just standing there just like, oh my god. I don't know what any of this is. This one kid keeps tossing fucking Molotovs at me and it's pissing me off. Do you think Vulgrim tells her about old OnlyFans?
Fury, you can help support your favorite models directly through OnlyFans. For just this month, my own OnlyFans has a 15% discount.
I'm not a fan of yours, Vulgrim. What spirit possesses these mortals and make them crave feet pics? Okay, let's see here. Is there an exit up there? I think there must be.
Over here.
Oh, they're just all hanging out. Ow, bitch. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, hold up. I need to make sure that this message I have on Discord isn't a... Tis not, unfortunately. This child is making a fool out of me, and I don't appreciate it. Alright, where are we headed? I think I have to hop across the T-Rex. Oh, Jesus. Motherfucker ran into their own trap. Well, they're clearly not very bright. Alright. Oh god, how do I get out of this fucking museum? I would like to leave this museum, please. Oh, hold on. I'm a fool. Why am I so itchy? My hand is very itchy, I don't know why. Alright. Yeah. Ow. Okay, that's on me. I should have realized what was happening there. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, no, the Storm Hollow is not going to be any good for this one. I need the Flame Hollow for it. There we go. It wasn't even necessarily that I needed the Flame Hollow. It's just I needed, like, more momentum. Alright. Let's see if we can use this to... Nailed it. Please, let... I need to leave the... What the fuck? I just went in a big fucking circle. Okay. I'm fine. Let's go again, I fucking guess. Okay, okay. Let's pay a little bit better attention this time to where we're supposed to be going. Taking us through here. Wants me to go this way. Through hole. There's something else I was going to talk about. Oh, yeah. So I mentioned during the presentation about PAX the other day how at the VTuber panel... oh, hey, best viewers on streamboo.com. Ban you? I mentioned that at the VTuber panel I heard tell. Oh, hold up. Okay, no. I heard tell of a new 3D VTubing program that was... Oh! Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. That allows one to do some cool shit. I did track down that program, and I've been playing around with it. I don't think... I'm gonna need a little bit of time messing with it before, like, I think I can say I'm ready to do anything with it. But it is quite promising.
Back to this enchanting scenery. You take me to all the best places.
At least we're better prepared this time. But feel free to leave any time, Watcher.
You wish.
So real quick, because I think we have a better shot of Sloth over here. There he is, just hanging out. He's a big bug boy. He's a big bugman. Sometimes Sloth is bugs. Okay, we got a very angry looking guy, like, right here. And he's making me nervous. So I think I would like to kill him immediately? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Fragment of Oblivion ore. Okay. So generally speaking, the way that, like, the compass at the top works is that it will show you basically, I want to say, any sin that you currently have access to track down. But usually it'll give you, like, a lot of times it'll give you one in particular that's just like, hey, you should definitely check this one out next. You don't necessarily need to do that one, but it's usually recommended. So for this one, we're going to go this way. Because there are certain points where you can, kind of have free reign to do things in the order that you want. And as much as I'd like to be like, oh, maybe we do this in a different order this time, I don't fucking remember what order I did this in last time. So it's not like I have, like, a point of reference for, like, what order I should do it in, then. I fucking hate these things. Like, I know what they are, and I know what they're going to become eventually. And I'm, like, already terrified. I could have sworn there was, like, some kind of, like, big sweeping move that you can do with the... Right, it's holding down X is what it is. Mm-hmm. It's weird that it's pointing me to go back. Maybe I went the wrong way? I thought it was pointing at me to go forward. So that... Oh, yeah. Okay, that is what was happening. Alright. Good to know. Good to know. I'm gonna grab this real quick. Don't know what it is. Immediately scared. Okay, we're fine. Whoop! Full time. Have they made a new Medal of Honor game recently? Have you ever thought about how EA owns both Battlefield and Medal of Honor, and, like, they keep making... Do Battlefield games do well? I am so, like, out of touch with, like, military shooter shit, because I just don't care about any of it. But, like, the reason that I'm thinking about this now is because while I was at PAX, I picked up a copy of, like, the Xbox 360 Medal of Honor, the one that, like, distinguishes itself from, like, every other military shooter in existence by having a guy with a beard in it. Like, a big, bushy beard. Which I feel like I own that on, like, PC or something, and I just never fucking touched it. But, like, I remember that being, like, one of the big military shooters. Like, oh, man. There was... Back when, like, the thing to do was, like, World War II games. I remember Medal of Honor released one that had such an interesting gimmick that I ended up, like, buying the fucking game. It was, Medal of Honor Airborne. I tried out the demo for it. And it's just like, oh, the entire gimmick is, like, you start every level jumping out of a plane, and you get to choose where you land, and fight your way to your objective. And it's just like, okay, sure. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't nearly as freeform as that. When you actually get into those levels, there are specific places that are, Hold on. Yeah. I got, like, a bug bite or something. That's why I'm itchy. There are specific places, like, marked off with, like, you know, green smoke. That are like, this is a good place to land. Usually because, like, there are, like, provisions nearby. I'm gonna fucking... Usually because there are, like, provisions and stuff nearby, or it's, like, one of the best places to start in order to kind of, like, make your way towards the objective, or because there just aren't enemies there, and if you land anywhere else, you will get killed immediately. But I played the demo for that, I'm just like, this is such an interesting concept. And it was. Executed not great, but is interesting. Sometimes that's all you need, you know? Sometimes it's just like, do the concept be interesting? Yes? Let's fucking give it a go. There's a man on that wall. There's a couple men on that wall, now that I'm looking at it. Hold on. Oh. I think it wants me to go in there. I want to check out over here first, though. Oh, we got two angry boys. Cool, cool, awesome. Alright, what was I talking about? Medal of Honor. But yeah, neat concept. Wasn't always executed well, but neat concept. And I think that was the most I ever engaged with that series. I don't know, I'm just not like a military shooter guy. Like, why would I play, like, a shooter about World War II when I could play fucking Halo? You know?
What would you
Have you
ask
played
of
Halo?
farewell for now?
Halo's pretty good. There ain't no aliens in military shooters, unless you're playing, like, Call of Duty Ghosts, I think? Which has aliens instead of a zombie mode? Oh, fuck! No fair being invisible. Fuck off. So that's an interesting thing to know. Yeah, the military is famously never present for FPS games involving aliens. Okay, no. Hale, you know what I mean. I'm talking, like, military shooter versus, like, sci-fi shooter. You know? That's what we're talking about here. I'm getting my ass beat. Yeah, why bring an AR-15 to a dual incendiary shotgun fight? Exactly. You get it. But no, like a military shooter a military FPS brings to mind a very specific genre. You know, your Call of Duties, your Modern Warfares, your Battlefields, your Soldier of Fortunes. Excuse me, boys. I'm just gonna go grab this real quick. Thank you. Your War Thunders. Is War Thunder a first-person shooter? I thought that was a tank game. I thought it was a Battlefield game. Who can say? See, this is the problem. I don't fucking play these games. So I don't know for sure. Look at this lanky motherfucker. Wow, he died immediately. Alright, cool. Take that. Okay, all I know is Vulgrim leaked the blueprints to the FC. God. Fucking War Thunder forums. My favorite thing about War Thunder forum leaks is the fact that they're always leaking shit to win arguments, where it's just like they're bitching or complaining about like some piece of military hardware in game, and it's just like, no, you don't understand. This is how it works. And they post like classified documents, and it's just like, bro. The experimental stealth plane is not going to fuck you. You can calm down a little bit. Hi, Vulgrim. I will say, while I'm not a huge fan of... You don't know that. I'm not a huge fan of... Hold on. I want to kill these guys so that I can, like, have a moment just to, like, talk about the video game. Okay. Oh. Oh, 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 oh. I'm in trouble. No, I'm fine. We're good. It's all good. We're fine, actually. Everything is fine. Nothing is broken. What was I talking about? I think I mentioned in the first stream that what is admittedly one of my least favorite things about Darksiders 3 is the way that it returns to the aesthetic of, like, the Ruined Earth. Like, the post-End War, post-apocalyptic cityscape, which, I mean, is novel in Darksiders 1. But then, like, you get to Darksiders 2, and it's got, like, you know, the different worlds that you go to, and their unique visual aesthetics, and it's cool. And then you go back to Darksiders 3, and it's just like, oh, we're back in the ruined cityscape. And it's just like, oh, well, I mean, okay. I don't know. I recall Genesis doing a little bit more in terms of, like, varying visual aesthetics for its levels. But I've also only played through that game once. So we will have to see when we get there. Arguably, it's a better, more colorful ruined cityscape. It is still gorgeous. I will give it that. I want to impart a bit of advice on you. You do need to occasionally be very careful what activities you do at the same time. Because on one of my playthroughs of this game, I came through this area, I think I had like one of the dead meat kill counts on in the background. And it was one of the Christmas ones. So now like I'm walking through here and all I can think is Garbage Day. What is that? Silent Night, Deadly Night, I think. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I can hear James A. Janice. Natalie thought she saw James A. Janice at PAX this weekend, and I unfortunately didn't catch sight to confirm whether or not it was him, and I could not find anything indicating that he was going to be there, so I don't know if it actually was or not. It'd be neat if it was. That's a funny non sequitur bring up, Mr. ADHD streamer. Listen. To the rivers and the lakes like you used to. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Luminous visage. I don't think I can make it. Oh, wait, hold up. There's a thing here. Hata. This game is maybe a little bit dangerous for, like, having ADHD, because there's so many, like, little areas that you can just kind of, like, wander around in. Can I not get up there? Ugh, barnacles. I'm being summoned to watch Andor. Very open world exploration game is dangerous for ADHD. Absolutely. Enjoy Andor. As much as I love this game, I do feel the need to point out some of, like, the jankier technicalities. Where it's just like, I'm turning corners and I'm seeing the world loading in as I round the bend. Ah, damn. Too far down. I'm catching up on Season 1 because I've never seen it before, but please enjoy the striding. Striding? Kale, do you think that this game is called Darksiders? They may already be gone. No. Okay. Good, just checking. Because that would be silly. It would be very silly if you thought this game was called Darksiders, when in fact it's called Darksiders. That would be really embarrassing. And fuck you. Enjoy your TV show. Ahim heem, ahim heem. Okay, fine. Don't have fun. Have a terrible time. Ah, yes. Lay that curse upon me. No, genuinely enjoy your show. Fifth Avenue? Where do they get off having 5 whole avenues? I think they're so fucking cool with their 5 avenues. I should probably, like, actually try hitting the dodge button, huh? Might be a good idea. With the smaller guys, it's a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult to tell, like, when the best time to dodge is. It's a lot easier with the bigger guys because they have to take bigger swings. We got 2 large boys down here, I'm noticing. And they are both awake. Cool, cool. Love that for me. This might be fine. I might be able to handle this. I am rapidly losing control of the situation. Oh no. Oh no, we're fine. I killed one of them. G'day, Gage. How goes the Furying? Hello, Xanda. Welcome. Furying goes well. I need to check something, actually, just real quick. Just a quick moment here. Okay. All right. There are so many areas. Just like real life. Have you ever been outside and found an area? It's fucked up. Have you ever been to a location? I fucking sound like goddamn... What's the fucking Unsolved Mysteries or something? I forget what it's called. Have you ever rode a bike? This one was made up by a writer. Oop. This one was fake. We made it up. This one was invented by a writer. Did those other guys die already? Oh shit, they did. Okay, cool. Hole. Nooks and crannies and the like. And a human. Hey, touch this weird medallion. I love to have humans touch my medallion and have them dissolve into particles. It's my favorite activity. Where am I going? Here we go. Ah! He seems angry. I won't fuck with him yet. I'm very excited to see where the Darksiders series goes, honestly. I want to know what that new game they're teasing is. Yo, eat this goop. Ah, Urple. Okay. Okay, I see. Yes, Urple. Remembering that classic Darksiders moment of them putting out a teaser for a new project and then almost immediately announcing that they were going to be putting out an update for Darksiders 2 that improves its like textures and performance and everything, and needing to be like, by the way, the improvements to the Darksiders 2 definitive edition is not what we were going to announce. It is unrelated to the teaser, we promise. Because they knew what that looked like to everyone involved. Oh, he just teleported in. Oh, come on. I was doing so good with the dodges before. Oh, there we go. We're so fucking back. Never mind, it's Jover. Anyways, we're fine. Demonic Artifact, Medium Lurcher Cluster, and I think that's everything in here. Ah, Urple again, eh? Apple again, eh? Oh, wow. Purple once again. Yay! Aha.
Help! Please!
Hey, touch this cool thing. You want to see a cool coin?
Please save me!
Get some nice arties? Huh? Oh, God. These fucking things. Oh! Artifacts, I see. That's right, we're dealing with these things now. Okay. So you know how in Metroid Fusion, when you first go through Sector 2, you find all, like, the little chubby caterpillar grub things, and then your second time through Sector 2, you see them all, like, calcifying, and then your third time through Sector 2, you see them, like, all veiny and wriggling as if they've transformed. And then suddenly they're weird fucked up bugs. Gage, what are these segways? I don't have a Segway. I don't know what you're talking about. Do I look like I'm riding around on a Segway? I'm playing Darksiders 3. Anyways, the Key Hunters. Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on here. These weird things that... This fucking bug. Hold on. Sushi order. Sushi order! We got... Whoa, gotta get in there. Alright, hold on. Sorry. We have a very important sushi order to get in. I don't think they have deep fried gyoza. I think they just have pan fried. Anyways, I'll just add it on there. Oh no, they do have it deep fried. What? Why the fuck am I not getting it deep fried? I need to get it deep fried. What the fuck?
Friend and stream and roommate Austin, opening your eyes.
My eyes are open. Open your eyes and see. Your eyes are open. When it is time for me, jump into the ocean. When it's cold outside, and here it rests alone, there will be no shame. Always I wanna be with you and make believe with you and live in harmony, harmony, oh Lord. Combo. Hold on. Here we go. Alright. Chicken and steak. Medium rare. Medium rare chicken, huh? No, I'm kidding. I know it's for the steak. You remember when there was like a period of time? Like, I guess it wasn't really a period of time, I don't think. I remember seeing like posts of people just being like, you know, the only way to eat chicken is medium rare. And it's just like, you are eating uncooked chicken. What are you doing? People just don't know. Fried rice. Guess I'll get him veggies too. House salad, ginger dressing, add to bag. Okay. I think that's everything. Proceed to checkout. Always I wanna be with you and make believe with you and live in harmony, harmony, oh love. Always I wanna be with you and make believe with you and live in harmony, harmony, oh love. Okay, sushi order has been placed. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm just going to mute real quick. Alright. It wasn't a very long break, so I didn't put any music on. I just needed to just kind of like double check and confirm all of the things that we were ordering before it got too late to potentially make changes. I need to chuck this fucking bug over here. Get fucked. Let's go. I ordered fish and chips. Nice! Good on ya. Every so often I go back and watch that Wiccan Kebab video. And I think, oh yes, I too would like a toasted sandwich that the filling is literally a pie full of meat and gravy. It actually sounds fucking good as hell. I don't think I have savory pies as often as I should.
That seems important.
A little ostentatious, if you ask me.
For once, we agree.
Well, I'm gonna... Because I think this is a cutscene coming up. And I like the cutscenes better when Fury doesn't have a holo activated.
What is it?
Something about this place.
Oh, you wish to repent for your sins?
I will not waver to cleave the Watcher head from your Watcher body.
Less sarcasm. Noted, mistress.
Shield your eyes!
Too bright. What is that?
Well, well, well. Imagine my disappointment. To think that this is the best the Council has to offer. Of the fabled Four Horsemen, they send the lowliest, the most pathetic of all.
Pride, charming as ever. I've come for you.
Oh, really? As if you'd know what to do with me if you could have me.
Sexy.
Please, spare me.
Are you not one of the great seven deadly? Fight me instead of cowering, you pompous, pathetic
Your
excuse!
taunts are a waste of breath, horseman. No more an annoyance than the buzzing of a fly. Beneath my notice, like everything else in the Creator's grand experiment, even the greatest treasures of heaven and hell pale beneath my light. Scurry back to the hole you were born from. Perhaps when I am the only sin left on this sad little rock, you will be worthy of an audience with me.
When I'm done, there will be no sins left standing.
So you say. Considering your current state, I find it highly unlikely that we'll ever meet again. But by the rare chance you do earn my favor, find me in Ares. Though I highly doubt a creature such as yourself would be welcome in a place so refined. I encourage you to surprise me, horseman. Until that time...
What an insufferable creature.
So something to note about the Seven Deadly Sins is the way that they sort of like uniquely embody each sin that they represent. Something interesting to note about Pride is that Pride fashions herself after angels. Like, she very much has the sort of like aesthetic language that is already present in the Darksiders series used for angels. And she's just like, the treasures of heaven and hell pale beneath my light. And it's just like, okay, yeah, sure. Why do you still have a broken halo? If you are so much better than heaven and hell, if you are so obsessed with this notion of holy light, why do you still have a broken halo? It's interesting. Because it almost bespeaks a sort of underlying insecurity that she is using her namesake to cover up. It is, in fact, cool shit.
I will never understand their attachment to such things.
Mistress.
They cling so desperately to this iconography. The symbolism of heaven and hell.
They?
Humanity. For thousands of years, they held the fruit of creation in their hands, but ignored it to squabble over totems and fables. Whatever the Creator saw in them.
Yeah, shit's fucked up. There is intended to be something about humans within the context of Darksiders that makes them just sort of like uniquely special compared to just like the incredibly powerful like demons and angels and stuff like that. They kind of get into a little bit of that in the museum area, where it's just like the Watcher kind of acknowledges that like, hey, humans are the only ones who ever created art, you know? Like, you can take a look at like stuff like the architecture of like heaven and hell, but like the idea there is that it's created that way because that's all like the angels and the demons know. It's stuff like the Forge Lands is just like things are created that way because it's all they know. It's less about like it's more along the lines of it's created that way because this is just kind of like the aesthetic sensibility that they have for the what's the word I'm looking for? The necessity of the structure, as opposed to like humans creating art for art's sake. If that makes sense. Ah. Zombies. Got to remember to dodge. Is he just gonna, like, keep calling forth enemies? Face me yourself, coward. Because these guys are kind of punks, actually. Oh, there he is. Big boy joins the fray. It is fun to see like how subtly some of the seven deadly sins embody their namesakes, whereas others are a lot more overt. Like envy was obviously very loud about like, oh, mine, 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 mine. I want it, it's mine. Greed is hopping from like pile of junk to pile of junk that he has hoarded in his grand halls. We're going to see... Sloth is probably one of my favorites, honestly. Just with the way that he embodies his own sin. But I do like the way that Pride embodies hers, where it's just like, she is quite prideful, but it's not necessarily just the fact that she's talking about how much better she is than like both heaven and hell combined. It's like the little parts of it, like I said, the broken halo, the fashioning herself after an angel, his greed halls, his greed zone.
I already know the answer, but...
Yes, we're going down there. See? An outpost of the angels.
But that isn't our exact mission.
It became our mission when I found my horse skewered by angel spears.
Where is she seeing an angel outpost? Fury, what are you even looking at? Is it because the boat has a cross on it? Damn, those are some tough 2x4s. You're not wrong. I think the intention is that you're supposed to be able to see through them into the church and see, like, the bell, which you can then knock down to crash a hole through the floor and everything.
You do know how to make an exit. Literally.
Alright, I don't want to go this way yet. We're gonna go check out this green skull. Geen. This might be Sloth, potentially. Don't know for sure. Gold Burger, taste the gold rush. Alright, how are we getting to Geen Skull? Geen Skull this way. Who puts carrots on their burger? I don't know, but then I also don't really put much of anything on my burgers, generally speaking. Like the most I'll go on a burger is like bacon. Like, okay, if we assume that a regulation burger, not regulation, but like your basic burger includes cheese, right? Well, okay, no. Hold on. Because then it would be specifically a cheeseburger, right? So like on a cheeseburger, the most I will usually go for in terms of like add-ons is like I like to get like barbecue bacon burgers, which is like exactly what it sounds like: barbecue sauce, bacon, crispy onion strings if they have them, generally paired with cheddar cheese. I will say, sometimes, that same shit, good with steak sauce instead of barbecue. Yeah, what's up? Oh, yeah, sure. I'm going to go ahead and mute, and I will be right back, folks. I'm thinking about Neon Inferno again. I was pulling some stuff out of my backpack because I was trying to find a business card that Natalie had picked up from somebody during PAX. And I found I had picked up this little advertisement for Neon Inferno after I had played the demo, and now I'm thinking about it again. God, that was such a good fucking game. I think I've talked before about how like I kind of wish that like indie games that like trade on retro aesthetics would like move on to like the PS1 era. And for the most part they have. You were getting a lot more like low poly indie games recently, and it's great. I love it. There are ones that I'm really looking forward to streaming. Like Fear the Spotlight looks really fucking cool, and it's something that I really want to check out on stream. And in fact, I have that's one of the ones I have on the docket for the most part. I don't know when I'm gonna do that one, but like I wanna check out like smaller games, you know, like that. But I will admit that like despite the fact that I am more of a proponent of the Nether, I am more of a proponent of like the idea of what am I trying to say? I like the aesthetic of low poly stuff a lot more than I do like things trying to like ape the 8 or 16-bit era of gaming, but I will freely admit to being a fan of fucking gorgeous sprite work. Like a game that I really want to do a stream of just because I absolutely love how the game fucking looks is The Mummy Demastered. Which is a game that makes me really sad that I'm not sure how likely it is that WayForward is going to be able to bring Aliens Infestation to current consoles. Because Aliens Infestation and The Mummy Demastered have a lot of like similar DNA, where they're both Metroid-style games, or Metroidvanias, based on like movie properties, with just absolutely some of the best sprite work you're ever gonna fucking see in anything, quite frankly, because it's fucking WayForward. WayForward does good shit. They also did Retro Realms, which is a pair of like arcade, like hack and slash platformers based on Ash vs. Evil Dead and Halloween. That again, gorgeous fucking sprite work. Neon Inferno has a lot of the same like DNA of that, where it's just like it's a gorgeous looking game. It was recommended to me that I should try doing, Steam has a bunch of, like, they have a collection that is just, like, all the games shown at PAX that have available demos to play. It was suggested to me that I, maybe do a stream of some of those, just to kind of, like, show off, like, what was, oh! Shit. I didn't have my hand on the controller, fuck. Oh, this is a bad corner to be stuck in. But it was suggested to me that I ought to, oh! I ought to do a stream showing off some of those games, which I would like to do, because I really only got to play a couple games at PAX, which I don't necessarily, like, feel bad about, just because, like, there weren't really a huge amount of games that I was super interested in checking out. It was pretty much just Neon Inferno once I saw it, like, once I started seeing it getting advertised on, like, the big screens that they have throughout the convention. So it would be interesting to get some of those demos off Steam and then just kind of like just do a run through them and just check out, like, here's this one, here's this one. The other one that I played was Royalty Free for All, which is like a Smash clone. I don't want to say Smash clone. That sounds derisive. But it was a Smash style, like, platform fighting game where all of the characters and stages are, like, it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. They're like royalty-free versions of, like, popular properties. It's kind of funny. I need to check. Actually, you do get Agent's Law and pulled pork sandwich, which often has carrot. There you go. A pulled pork sandwich isn't a burger, though. I'm just saying. Our food should be here between 9:13 and 9:28. The courier's actually already picking up the order. I was talking to Natalie while I was on break just a second ago, and I realized, oh shit, I've been playing for like 2 hours. It didn't even feel like it. Like, part of it is definitely that I just absolutely love playing this game. Like, sometimes if you're playing a game you enjoy, sometimes you just kind of forget that you're doing it, honestly.
You're not worth my
time. That said, I am going to need to figure out a good stopping point. Oh, my game guests are here. Time to go. Have a good one, Gage. All right, you have a good one, Xanda. We are going to want to figure out a good stopping point at eventually. Because honestly, I could probably go for longer. But I don't want to, because I do need to, like, try and get a good amount of sleep tonight. Ow. Because I got stuff I gotta do tomorrow, in addition to... Oh god, we're playing Bendy in the Dark Revival tomorrow. I am interested in that game. I have issues with Bendy and the Ink Machine. Not even just insofar as it being just kind of like... just like another fucking, like, mascot horror game, but just like the way that it handled that whole status where it's just like you, like, it had like the episodic release schedule, and there was such a focus on, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've talked about my issues with like the mascot horror genre before, and just kind of like the trappings of it. And I don't think Bendy and the Ink Machine is like the worst example of that, but it is just kind of like, it does have some of the more like, I would say, egregious examples of like the worst practices. Like trying, like the whole structuring your game around like courting like lore and theory crafting and stuff like that. And then in the end, just straight up not sticking the landing, where it's just like, does anybody know like what the point, like what the fucking ending of that game was even supposed to be, realistically speaking? So I have issues with that one, but I do like the evil fucked up Alice Angel a lot. She was like my favorite character in that game.
Yo!
Oh,
Delta Rune announcement day!
what?
Delta Rune announcement day!
What's the announcement?
Releasing June 4th.
June 4th. Oh shit. Hell yeah. I thought did we know that already? I don't remember.
I didn't know that. Nothing matters.
It's true. Ouch. Oh, excuse me. True. I've realized I say that word like that a lot, so it's just like, no, I gotta make it a thing now, I guess. Okay. Okay, I'm suddenly, like, completely fucking up my dodges. Anyway. But yeah, so I have my issues with Bendy and or his ink machine. That being said, Bendy and the Dark Revival, among other things, I know was in development for quite a long time. I think to the point where, like, I didn't really keep up. Like, I didn't really. What am I trying to fucking say? I didn't exactly keep up with the Bendy and the Ink Machine community or anything. So I don't know, like, how much staying power that community had to begin with. But, like, I do know that at a certain point, like, it's one of those things where I just sort of, like, stopped really hearing about it. Kind of similar to Hello Neighbor. Although that seems like a deep insult against Bendy and the Ink Machine. But, like, I remember Bendy and the Ink Machine coming out, like, that whole, like, release process. I remember there being, like, some PC only, like, I guess, like, minigame or something. Like, some PC only, like, kind of cheap, we're basically just releasing this so that people don't forget about us kind of game that they had done. And then it's just like, oh, this is supposed to be the lead up to Bendy the Dark Revival, and then it didn't come out for years. So, long dev cycle, potentially to the point that people just kind of like stop talking about it. It wasn't an episodic game, so we're not talking about, or it wasn't an episodic release as far as I'm aware. I'm talking a lot of, like, I'm talking with a lot of authority for somebody who did not follow this game when it came out, and thus has no concept of, like, what its release was actually like, or, like, the hype leading up to it, or anything like that. But I don't think Dark Revival released in an episodic manner like the first game did. Mostly because, like, I don't think people really do episodic releases a whole lot recently. In part because, like, just the way that game development works now doesn't really support the concept of the episodic release. Because, like, episodic releases, like, the entire concept of it is you're making a smaller title that can be released in a, like, tighter time frame. But, like, part of the unfortunate reality of game development is that that sort of development cycle just is not particularly feasible, really. Like, I mean, you look at, like, the Half-Life 2 episodes, like, how long did those fucking things take to come out, you know? Longer than they should have, given the assumed benefits of episodic games. I could just go back up here. That's cool. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Dark Revival will... I want to say fix. But maybe not fix, but maybe it'll sidestep some of the issues that I had with, like, Ink Machine. Or some of the things I didn't quite like about Ink Machine, you know? I'd be interested to find out. I think I played Bendy and the Ink Machine on stream, and I think that was, like, back... Like, Dark Revival still hadn't come out yet. So that was, like, years ago. Okay. We've got a cheeky little shortcut. We got a Vulgrim plinth. We got Hole. What's up here? We got a Human.
Please.
Touch. Goodbye. Alright. I think we're going to head back to that Vulgrim plinth so that we can lock in the autosave. It's not locking in an autosave, which is a little annoying. Hold on. Let me run away. Double back. And we'll probably go ahead and do same thing that we did before.
What would you ask of this?
Same thing we did this week, we'll do next week. Where we'll start the next stream with another trip to the void. And then we'll head towards our next sin. Because, yeah, I've been going for 2.5 hours now. And I don't want to run too late tonight, only because, like I said, I've got stuff I got to do tomorrow morning before I stream later in the day. And I want to be able to sleep. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. I want to thank everybody for coming by the stream. I hope you all had a good time. I know I did. If you enjoyed the stream, you can subscribe here on Twitch. We have special emotes for subscribers. You can also follow me on Blue Sky and Tumblr at AcidXShark. That's AcidXShark, where I post all the streams as they happen. Or you can follow me on something else. YouTube, AcidXShark, where I post all the streams after they happen. Art for the stream was done by Audrey and B of Team Capel. You can find on Blue Sky, Twitch, Tumblr, YouTube, VGen at Team Capel. That's DEAMCATPLE. They do fantastic work. Highly recommend checking their stuff out. Highly recommend commissioning them when they're open. If you do want to commission them, don't email them. Use the VGen. Not right now, though. It's currently closed because Audrey in school. Thinking to myself, 1 second. VTuber. My VTuber was done by Teva, who you can find on Blue Sky at Teva Meow. That's TEVAMEOW. With rigging by V747, who you can find on Patreon at that. What's coming up? Tomorrow, Benny and the Dark Revival. I guess. Next week, I'm going to... We're going to see how things go next week. Because I'm not 100% certain exactly how I'm going to handle streams next week. But I do know that I'm going to try and get a schedule out for that. To let you know, to make sure that you're aware of what that is going to look like. Hold on, I'm setting up the raid. We're going to go ahead and raid into Machine 17 today. What was I saying? I had a point I was making. But next week, we are still going to be doing our standard streams. Darksiders 3... Forspoken, Final Fantasy XIV, Bendy and the Dark Revival if we haven't finished it yet. Not necessarily in that order. So keep an eye out. And I will see you next time on the Shark Stream. Same Shark time, same Shark channel. Take care, everybody.